Hi there, everybody. This is JR Burgess here. Welcome to Health Evaders, the Next Level Healthcare Show. I have a special guest, and I'm very excited today because this just isn't a guest that I've met and doing great business and healthcare solutions out there. It's somebody that I've worked with and that's been coaching me the last 6 months. So very excited to introduce Dr. Louise. She runs two different businesses. The first is the Albuquerque Natural Health Center, where she's still in practice today and helping people just like me. And then also her Brain Soul Success Academy, where she runs a boot camp, we'll talk a little bit more about today, as well as a mastermind program where she's helping practitioners overcome their blocks, but at the same time, helping them introduce, the Brain Soul Success connection to their patients so they can truly help patients without drugs or surgery, just a different perspective like we've done here at Rejuve. So welcome so much, Louise. Please tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Oh, gosh, welcome. Thank you so much, JR. Thank you for having me on. I'm just really excited to connect with other people and other people in the medical field and the health field doing really good work. My background is a naturopath. I'm a biofeedback therapist, so I've done a lot of neurobiofeedback. I have about 5 different programs in my office that I use that are neurobiofeedback type programs. And just watched people change over the last 20 years here in such great ways. And of course, the technology keeps improving. And as we keep improving technology, we can even do more. So yeah. I'm just excited for the frontier of where we're going with all of this, going forward. So it's just great to be here and share with you.
Well, thank you. Let me take our guest back a little bit. Is we probably met a little over 2 years ago at a Lisa Sasevich mastermind event. And you've also been in her curriculum and program. You've also coached her like you've coached me. And, one of the things that I was, most impressed with when I first met you is your genuine concern, care, and approach with everybody. You always wanted to serve in the group. You always had the right energy. A student and a coach at the same time. What I mean by that is I work with a lot of people and I try to say, how do we coach others if we're not getting the same coaching ourselves to go to the next level? And the interesting part about my journey is for 9 years, I've been incredibly attuned to professional development and growth. One course, how do we package our programs? How do we get better at operating and running our business? And I won't say that I neglected maybe my past traumas, my blocks that were holding me back from my ultimate vision and my purpose. And that's all flushed out over the years. But I kind of hit a wall in July. And I'm so thankful that I knew you because I had been working 100-hour work weeks for 9 years. Unfortunately, my business became number one over my family, my health, my marriage. And thankfully, I got a major injury and slowed down. And then I started realizing that I was stuffing all my feelings, great at solving other people's problems. But I realized my next level of success was unblocking myself. And you've helped me do that. And I know you've helped do it with other practitioners. Tell us a little bit about how you've done that with people like me and some of these other, maybe even Lisa or some other clients that are running big businesses or just helping their patients take some of that energy and don't know how to get to the next level of their practice success as well.
Yeah, good question. I love helping entrepreneurs and business owners clear those blocks like we did for you. And what I mean by blocks is we all hold emotions and we all have some trauma. And one of the doctors that worked a lot with trauma that some of you might be familiar with, his name is Dr. Hamer. And he was a German doctor that discovered trauma can cause illness. And how he discovered that was he got sick himself. So he ended up with prostate cancer 3 years after his son was shot and died. And, big trauma for him, of course. And so he said, I'm not getting better with other things that I'm doing. So I'm gonna just explore this, releasing this trauma, because it obviously is something, in his life that totally traumatized him. And so he started working on clearing the trauma for himself, and his cancer went away. And then he started applying it with breast cancer patients. And he found out that when he used some techniques to release trauma, their cancer went away. The coolest thing that he did that I love, because I love the brain, was he took SPECT scans of their brain. So he took pictures of the brain, and he would find that different people had different traumas, would have different, what we call like cellular memory bumps. And they were just lesions that he would see on the cameras. And so they were affectionately called later Hamer-Hurd, after him. And so what he was good at was figuring out where those were and what to really, and how to release those. And you know, when I started working in the field of natural health, I'm a natural health person, and neurobiofeedback, I watched all my dyslexic students. I was a special ed teacher before I was in the field of health. And when I started putting them on biofeedback and neurobiofeedback, I watched them jump 2 grade levels in reading in less than 6 months. And it blew me away, because I was a teacher and I was trained to do that. And what I realized is when we balance the brain, we balance the whole body. And not that we don't want to balance the heart too, and that we're not whole people. Yes, we are. But so much goes back to those neurotransmitters in the brain. And if they're not functioning properly, or you've got traumas in your brain, in your field, we've got to release those and unblock those for you to actually be 100% like grounded and in yourself to create the business you want to create. So what I find with entrepreneurs is when we're not working on ourselves, you know, we crash. You know, or something happens, we get sick, and then we can't help anybody. And so it's about that balance and learning those tools, I think.
And that's an important point, as most of the entrepreneurs that I work with have these big visions. They're incredibly passionate, just like myself. And you'll tend to work when all of the financial is there. You'll put everything thinking you're working on yourself, but working in your business at the same time, there will become a burnout, a frustration, a crashing point. I didn't think it was possible for me. I was so committed and excited what I'm doing, but about that 7.5-year mark, that's where my health really started to decrease and more injuries were popping up. And again, I was starting to isolate. And this is after I've looked at my past traumas as my greatest gifts. Like if I wasn't teased, I wouldn't have became an empath, and that helps me get into pain. If I didn't have drug or alcohol addictions, I would not have had the ability to coach people and not have judgment. That, you know, if I didn't get kicked out of school, I wouldn't have been able to become that rebel. So it's like I had already done like cognitive work or acceptance and have that, but still there's these subconscious programs that I didn't realize were in my own way. And I needed to hit rock bottom, where I don't want that to be with all of our practitioners of really how do I reprioritize, reintroduce these blocks. And I found it crazy. In addition to therapy, my faith, in addition to your work, how radically my life has changed in 6 months through a combination of these treatments that I ignored. So tell me a little bit about, you have a system that we worked through, and I don't know if you can maybe share that or bring that up. It's
Sure.
a multi-step approach that you've done consistently and predictably with your students and patients that have helped them really start to transform their lives and get rid of these blocks that they don't know are in their way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love how this all came to be. So let me share my system with you all. So I actually call it the BRAIN system. And BRAIN is an acronym that stands for B as body. And so this is detoxing your body. This is the stuff that you guys all know about nutrition, or many of you using nutrition or different kind of protocols to help detox the body. And then we have to release. We have to release the mental chatter and that emotional baggage. And I find that when we release it on a brain soul level, when you really get to a soul level, you really, it's gone. It's not coming back.
You don't need years of therapy, get it gone tomorrow.
Yeah,
bye.
I mean, it's like people have said to me, they said, what you just did with me in this one session is worth 16 years of therapy.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, right on. We want to move you forward, And then there's aligning with spirit. I always believe there's a spiritual component to our health. So, whatever that is for you, whatever your spiritual alignment is. And then we want to integrate these new frequencies into your body. So it's, in a sense, we're raising your vibration. So many of you have heard, there's all kinds of sound therapy or different frequencies that'll work to actually even change your DNA. So I work with lengthening the telomeres of the DNA, which is an anti-aging tool, really. And then new program. New program just means we want to upgrade your biocomputer. In a sense, your brain, your nervous system, your whole body is a biocomputer. And when we put in the new program, after we take out all the old baggage, now you can soar. Now you can do what JR is doing. Now you can feel more balanced and move forward in your life. You know, I did that with Lisa Sasevich, who's having a hard time, and we just created, we just released a bunch of baggage for her and then put in a new program. And I remember that was one of her best events, and so I love to do that with people. And, I even do that with businesses. And so I release the blocks to my own business all the time. So I can intuit and figure out what's going on that's inhibiting you from moving forward. And sometimes it's a personnel issue. Sometimes it's a personal issue. Sometimes it's a financial issue. And these are all the things I know that you've worked on with your people. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's such an important component. Is I often say when I start working with people, we have our center of control. And I'll often say it is the staff or my partner or reasons. And there's a lot of external, thoughts, or some would call them excuse, that's holding them back personally. And I always try to preemphasize to everybody that I work with, every system is perfectly designed for the results that it produces. So what that means, if we're not spinning or we're constantly going right there and pointing externally, nothing's going to change. So if you are stuck in your relationships, if you are stuck in your business and you're not gaining traction, then something has to be different. And just like you said, changing that brain's operating system is going to be a change that will allow you to move forward. But doing nothing different and hoping for a different result is often misguided when we have these blocks or it's holding back. And a different thing is, I was blown away. My wife and I are trying to really progress with my son. He struggles when I travel and go. And we just had our session last week. And again, this is outside of my control. It's just like doing everything I can to be a better father, be present, everything. You happen to say to me, Jerry's blocked. He's been rejected at school? What's going in the way he's being the block? You changed it immediately. I went home. We started asking questions. Yes, my other little daughter, wouldn't let him at the bus say, yes, these friends that he's wanting to hang out with aren't hanging out with them, and only 2 will. So, knowing that, being able to communicate with my son through stories he's been smiling the last 3 days and happy again. It's just like, wow, these were simple things that, really were a difference in my life. I'm always going to the logical side of how do I solve a problem and move forward and get it out of the way. But it's outside of my control, these blocks that are other people and have in my life. And that's hard when you're an entrepreneur and a driven person. You want to solve all your own problems, and you can't quite get there without a different hardwire or different energy or different thought process. So I was just blown away by it. And,
I'm
the last
so
3 days have been
grateful.
great.
I'm so grateful. So your son is doing all that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yay. And I didn't even have to see your son. See, I did it with you.
Yes. And so, it is new science to me, new medicine, but I'm a firm believer, and that's where I've been so blessed in this space to work with world-leading naturopath doctors, regenerative medicine doctors, having top-level surgeons that are doing biologics on my set. I've been into Chinese and seen the Eastern medicine and the Western medicine. And to me, all of it has its absolute place. Otherwise, it wouldn't stand the test of times. And I try to tell all of our doctors is, you once believed one thing, whether it was pure allopathic medicine or you didn't necessarily know regenerative or functional medicine yet. I try to tell people is look at the evidence, be open, try different things, because if we're not getting where we want in life, there's these amazing doctors and practitioners that are helping people have major breakthroughs and openings in their lives. And that perspective has allowed me to try, see that little evidence, watch from there, just like Lisa Sasevich, she's going and raving about you. I'm like, okay, I'll try anything once. I'm still at this standpoint. And if I didn't either hear that testimonial or that social proof or try it myself, I wouldn't have known. I would have stood on the fence. And that same thing for me happened in regenerative medicine. I could have listened to my surgeon who says, there's no place for that. And that's absolutely, you need to have this meniscus transplant or partial knee replacement. But heck, a year later, I was back to playing rugby. and now I've had stem cells 8 times, and there's no way in my right mind can I tell anybody they shouldn't try that as the first line treatment. Safe, minimally invasive solutions without drugs or surgery is the first answer. And that's not me saying that surgery shouldn't be a part of the tool bag. I absolutely know when to recommend, or when somebody wants as an option, who to go to. I think this is where we need to continue to look at healthcare. How do we help people by those that are getting great results? And you've done that. So.
Oh, well, thank you, JR. I love it. Just like you have that passion, it's a system that's created over the last, 20 years of working with people and realizing that, yes, we can change the physical body. And it came from my own story, too. Mm-hmm. I was very ill. I was on oxygen for 3 years. I was chemically sensitive to a lot of things. I had allergies to everything in the world. I had all those labels from MS to fibromyalgia. They didn't know what was wrong with me. Mm-hmm. All I knew was my brain didn't work. And I wanted to be able to think again and be a mom to my kids. And so my quest was to get healthy. Well, when I was physically better, I still felt off. So I went, there's something else I have to do. Mm-hmm. I moved my family from Chicago to Taos, New Mexico, to the mountains to heal. Those were my monk years. We prayed a lot. It was awesome. We were outside a lot. We saw rainbows. Definitely a great healing place. But I realized that we had to work on the emotional, and we had to work on releasing trauma, and we had to and we had to work on putting in the new program. And so that's how my system came to be. It was my own quest for first my own health, and then I practiced and saw what was happening with all my clients when I started implementing all of these things with my own patients and my own clients, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then it developed into a system, and now I'm teaching it. And, the people learning it, Deanna, she's in Minnesota. She's a neurobiofeedback therapist, and her business was feast or famine. She said she had 3-4 clients a week. And she just told me this yesterday. She said, I made 6 figures this year. And I said, well, how did that happen? She said, it's the work. Yeah. It's learning the work. And I'm like, yes. And the people that she's helping, it's just been amazing. So, it's like help one person and they help more.
Absolutely. And you said such an important component that I think so many of us resonate with is our journey and our belief into this space is usually through learning. You've overcame yourself. I've had regenerative medicine myself. It becomes a new belief system. You want to share that with as many people as possible, mm-hmm. and give away your meaning, which provided you a second chance at life, and it works. And that's just somebody like you, being a heart-centered person. We wouldn't want to spread what didn't work for us and for others. We've proven it, and that's why now we can't help but want to get on podcasts, messages, stages, mm-hmm. speak this. And that's why you've done that is, A, you want to personally help doctors, practitioners, and people experience it. So one of your programs is you offer a boot camp where people can come and be a part of the transformation, learn about it, experience it firsthand, get past your traumas, have, your self unlocked, and then learn if this is a part you're getting into functional, integrative medicine, transformative healthcare that isn't just drugs or surgery in these allopathic models. These are things that you're teaching, just like the example you just gave to other practitioners to implement in their practice as having an additional service line if they're having the same belief in this. So that's experience it, living it, and paying it forward. And that to me is the best thing that we can ever provide people when something's changed our life, is how to do that. So how do we, learn a little bit more about that date, that event, and a little bit what you teach on that event, so people can learn more about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's the brain system. So I do the introduction to that brain system that I just showed you. Mm-hmm. So we go into the body parts, the releasing, the aligning with spirit, the integrating, and the putting in the new program. So you get to experience it. It's completely transformational. We do before and after pictures because people completely change. They completely change in a weekend. And so you get to learn those tools. It's here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, March 29th through the 31st, 2019. And if you go to my website, louiseswartzwalter.com, it's under events. So we can maybe put the link here too for people. But you want to be there. If you're looking at trying to up-level your life in any way, and you're like saying, hey, you know what, I want to change my business too. You know, I've been struggling a little bit. I can see we're having some tools that are going to have change my biocomputer, my brain, get rid of those traumas, that stuff that's been hanging on. And you might not even know they're there. You know, I've had people in the room who just go, I didn't know that that was there. I mean, last year we had people like literally, I mean, I want to say crying. I mean, it was an amazing ancestral clearing that I did on a woman who was very abused in her life. And I had no idea when she came up to stage what we were going to be working on. And oh my gosh, she completely changed. And a lot of my, you know, my dear even friends and clients have said to me, you know, I've been doing a lot of your work, but that ancestral clearing was just, that was huge.
Yeah, and the same's for me. Somebody would say, JR, why did you want that? Well, I've achieved a lot already, but there's a difference between success and pure joy and happiness, and your marriage is working, your at-home life, your balance, as you called it, and just to, you know, I have joy in certain spaces, but how do you have that daily disposition and out of your own head, out of isolation, and moving forward? And I had always kind of felt the momentum until this last year and a half. Things had to change, and I'm just so thankful they did. Otherwise, who knows? So I got the warning shots I needed, and this work, I'm going 2019 feeling better than I've ever felt and confident about my path and just ready to make that happen. And good things were already happened, but a better, well-rounded, balanced life and approach to my big mission and goals that I know are going to happen.
That's so great. Oh, I'm so grateful. That's really awesome. Yeah. Yes, because you're such a force out there. You know, look all the people that depend on you and what you've been able to accomplish. And you know, we keep you balanced. We need to keep you balanced so you can continue to do that, you know, and affect that great change. Because I love the work that you're doing in the world and how many doctors you're helping see this amazing model that you guys have put together. You know, it's transforming healthcare, you know, and all of us in the field of health, whether, you know, whatever kind of doctor or practitioner we are, we want to see that.
Yeah.
We all want to see that.
We all want to see the betterment of healthcare. Instead of just pure managed care, we're looking for healthcare solutions that get people healthy, happy, and free in their lives in all respects. So, you know, thank you for being a leader in this charge, especially in your space. And, you know, I've had friends, clients, and associates be through your program and nothing but rave reviews. And, you know, they all like working with you just like me. You have somebody in your corner that, you know, wants your best interest and success no matter what.
Oh, well, it's been a gift. It's just been a gift. And, you know, my every year I pick a word, you know, so we're turning on 2019 and 2018, I don't know why I called it the year of sparkle and shine. It just felt like it was going to be a sparkle and shiny year. Well, you know what? 2019 is the year of miracles.
And we can make that happen, right?
Yes, we can make that happen. So I believe in multiple miracles. And so each one of you is a gift. You're a miracle out there. You're doing great work in the world. And we just want to make sure you're able to continue to do it and have that balance, you know, and reach your goals.
That's where I was working so hard, putting myself second and my family second. I was going to build something without a foundation. And that's what's changing for me in 2019 is the foundation that I need for sustainability, for be able to help more people and have the impact. Crash and burn, if you're on that trajectory or pace or you're blocked, and this boot camp coming up in March is something I really want you to consider. And click the link below, learn more. And I know you're in great hands with Dr. Louise, and you know her community is something special that you're going to experience while you're there as well.
Oh, thank you, Jay, and thank you so much for having me on, you know, on your program here. And it's such a gift to work with you. And I want to wish everybody, you know, a great 2019. And
Absolutely.
Look forward to seeing you all at the boot camp, or you can get in touch with me too on my website. It's louiseschwartzwalter.com.
I forgot my one question that I always wrap up with, and it's actually a two-part question. And the first one was, while you were growing your practice, what was the first mistake, barrier, or hurdle that you had to overcome with yourself to get to where you are now? And what is the one thing that you're working on now that you have to overcome, whether it's hiring good team members, scaling, growing? I always liked our doctors to know that we all started somewhere, and even us now, we have our next level things that we need to incorporate to get where we want to serve the people that we want to have the income, the freedom, the impact that we want. What are those two things that you can share with our listeners?
Questions. I like those questions. So in the very beginning, I really couldn't even afford the office that I rented. I just thought I was going to do it, right? And I paid an assistant and didn't pay myself. That's kind of how we start, especially a holistic practice, if you will. So at that time, my biggest challenge was working too hard, and it truly was balanced life. It truly was balancing my life.
Yes,
I had to learn to do that. I think that's probably why I developed the system, and I'm helping people with that now, right?
Very good.
And then
finding the balance while starting your practice, absolutely.
Yeah, so if we can do that, and I'm watching the people that I teach, especially in my mastermind, they're able to do that. And I couldn't do that. So I'm so grateful that we're able to help them with that. I would say that right now, one of my biggest challenges is building team. I'm really growing a multi-million-dollar business here, and as I do that, I'm trying to figure out how to build team, and so that's my biggest challenge is attracting the right people on board.
Very good. And as we all know, the bigger the dream, the more important the right team. So you're on there, and I'm sure you're always doing coaching and everything, but if not, I got a few resources to point you in the right direction there as well.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yes, any resources are great. We all need to work together on this, so thank you.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate you coming on for our guests, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, thanks, JR. Thank everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.